Hello everyone once again. My name is LARA YEKU. Thank you so much for tuning in. And welcome to our first year edition of my HR Storybook live series, where we share authentic and career stories for personal and professional development. Today, we have our two special guests in the studio with us, and I'm sure you're eager to hear them. I'm equally looking forward to hear their stories. But before we start, would like to welcome everyone once again and please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome back once again. You're still tuned in to my HR Storybook live series. If you're just joining us, we have our two special guests in the studio with us today. Today marks our first anniversary of sharing life stories for impact and advancement. Behind every success, there is a story. For the success we are celebrating today, we have enjoyed the support of some incredible people, and we want to appreciate every one of them. The first special group of people we would like to appreciate our viewers, our audience, our listeners, and readers around the world who have tuned into our series. We want to say thank you so much for joining us on this learning journey. The second set of people are all our storytellers and guests who have shared their stories and have given us special nuggets. I'd like to share two of those nuggets with us, while some other nuggets are scrolling on the screen right in front of you. The first nugget reads: every experience or challenge you encounter in your career journey makes up your success story. Never trivialize any of them. And that's a quote by Taiwo Dyer Barton. We have another powerful quote by Usain Udo, which reads, "Great is a weapon in the hands of successful people." If you want to read or listen to more powerful nuggets from our storytellers, please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel on LARA YEKU or get a copy of my HR storybook. It has certainly been an incredible learning journey in the last 12 months. We have heard several life inspiring stories across various areas of our careers, ranging from women in leadership to romance in the workplace to men issues at work and several other interesting stories. We want to say thank you to all our special guests and storytellers for giving the world your stories as a shoulder for the world to rise on. This is dedicated to you. Welcome back, everyone. One of my favorite quotes by Evelyn Toffler says, The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Hmm. So, how did it all start? Why am I doing this? What is the purpose? What is this all about? Stay tuned for the answers. Thank you so much and welcome back. Please permit me at this point to introduce our guests so we can jump straight into our career chit chat session today. Thank you so much. And I would like to briefly read out their profile. We have with us today Yemi Fashion, who currently works at Seven Up Bottling Company SBC, designing strategies, corporate services, and making recording in progress. Welcome, Wyatt.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And congratulations again.
Thank you. Our special rookie is in the house with us today, someone I'm so proud of, my mentee. He's very diligent and extremely supportive. Clinton, I'll read a bit of his profile. So Clinton is a lawyer turned HR professional, and his career story had transitioned a 360-degree turn as he made a career transition from full legal practice to human resources. I mean, he's had about 3 years plus experience in human resources, and we're excited to have him join us today. Clinton, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Ma. It's a pleasure having you. And thank you, YF. It's a pleasure sharing the same platform with you.
Thank you. You are the experienced person, I'm the rookie.
All right, so we jump straight into today's chit chat session. Why? So I got a couple of questions from around the world. A lot of people do want to hear your story. And the most prominent question that I got came with regards to how you were able to cope with COVID-19. So COVID-19 impacted our world significantly, and people responded to it differently. For you, can you please share your story on how COVID-19 impacted your life and career, and what helped you to manage the impact of COVID-19?
Okay, thank you. I wasn't expecting this at all. Interestingly, I think the past prepared us a bit for the future. Okay, we had been talking about the future of work for a while, and at the time I switched jobs last year, I actually resumed into another role the same day that we got out of lockdown. So from lockdown into glow. Right. And the moment when we're under lock and key, I think it also gave us an opportunity to understand the virus a bit more. And like I said, some people, some organizations, some entities, we were getting ready for the future that happened. And we didn't have a choice but to, given the knowledge that we now had about the virus, to coexist with the virus. So every day, May 4th of last year till May 10th of this year, I was at work, apart from public holidays. So, of course, we took all the precautions, social distancing at work, virtual meetings, but the fear was still there. Let's not kid ourselves. Your colleague comes into your office and after about 5 minutes sneezes, you're like, are we okay? You look at each other and say, is everything okay? But because information is now at the speed of light, we all got to know more about the virus almost on a daily basis. Despite the fact also that things were happening in other parts of the world, we also felt a bit comfortable that we were insulated somehow from an African perspective. So that gave us some more confidence to continue to do what we're doing. But not to ignore the fact that we did the things that we needed to do to protect ourselves. And we knew that if you're in an environment where you could do virtual work, that was available. Some of my colleagues have not been to work since March last year. If you are in an environment, excuse me, where you had to do a hybrid situation or some flex hours at work, 1 week on, 1 week off, another. So we were listening to other people, we were watching other people, we were surviving along the existence of the virus. And sometime towards late last year, I think everybody just realized that hey, we need to thrive, not only survive with the virus. So things began to change and we got out of that fear mode almost totally until the second wave hit again in January, February. But by and large, I think it's information. It's about communication. It's about relationship with other colleagues, understanding what's going on. In the HR Directors Network, we are always engaging about what you do in your own organization so that we can adapt where necessary in our own organization. So nobody had a blueprint for success because we hadn't gone through this phase before, but we all learned through it. And we're where we are today.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. I have my second question for you. First, congratulations on your new book that you just released yesterday.
Thank you.
So a question came in and people really would like to know, how are you able to juggle everything that you do? I mean, you wear multiple hats. You have the responsibility as a husband, as a father, as a business leader, as a mentor, and you're able to equally give of yourself to people. How are you able to juggle all of this?
Okay, I mean, just before we started, I answered the same question the fourth time between yesterday and today, honestly. And my standard response is this: I don't do a lot. I actually don't feel. I know a couple of people are watching me in the studio right now. So people are listening now and they're rolling their eyes. I actually don't feel that I do too much, that I do a lot. I categorize all I do into maybe 4, 5 buckets. So I say God, relationship with God, 2, family, 3, work, and 4 is ministry or purpose. Outside of those 4 things, I don't see myself actively involved in any other space. So at every point in time, those 4 areas of life are always around me. So I don't do a lot of social. I say that I'm antisocial, and people are still struggling to believe me. I rarely go for social events, but Ada Onyeri, yes, yesterday still said to me, we're chatting about this, and she said, even your engagement, your speaking engagements are socials. Okay, so if you say those are social events, maybe, but I see them differently. I see them that it's another opportunity to go impact one person at least. And it's not for a whole day. I do an hour or 2, all the activities and the selfies, of course, and then I go back into my small private world. So it's just around those. So I don't see myself doing too many things. And I also think that, yeah, when you are in the space of purpose, there will always be an opportunity for you to express yourself. So that's what I see.
Yeah. I think because you're also able to give of yourself to people, you are very accessible, you are very responsive to your messages. So everybody keeps wondering, he's always available online. How does he make out time to do other stuff?
Okay, so I'll say this. I grew up at home with a saying on a frame, and I'll read it out verbatim. I cannot have another life beside this present one, and all the goods I want to do, it's now it must be done. And after helping some along, I would have no need to say, oh, could I have another life, if only for a day?
Wow.
So it's only one life. Let's give as much as we can.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That is so deep. Okay, Quentin,
Yeah.
glad to have you here.
Thank you very much.
So can you tell us about your transition from law to HR? What informed that?
Okay, I think basically the journey started in 2013. That was my third year in school,
Great.
running my LLB program. I found out I was more inclined to administration, management, putting things together, helping things work. I became the chief administrator of my fellowship. So at that point in time, I started asking myself, could it be law all through? Or is there something else that I need to understand? That was what led to the journey into my reinventing myself, so to speak. During service year, I had to run some HR programs, some administrative programs. I was seeking mentorship, direction, because I was pretty confused. So after law school, I had to do 1 year NYC serving in a law firm. After then, I came to Lagos and then worked for 6 months in the law firm, but I knew this was not where I belonged.
Nothing going to take you
So,
anywhere. That's what has been
in
there.
between that period, I was making applications. I made over 500 job applications.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
Within
within 3 months.
3 months. Wow.
So,
500.
so I was making, including Saturdays and Sundays, minimum of 8 per day.
Wow.
So it was so intensive that every job portal had my details. Okay, so because I need to breathe outside the law firm. Not that I don't enjoy it, I make money, but it's not just about the money. I feel something about me was not adding up within the space of the law firm. So eventually, I got an offer with ICS outsourcing, great organization, as a learning and development administrator. So that was what opened up the floodgates of every other thing I've experienced in HR space, work, and life generally.
Awesome.
Now, as a learning administrator, I've had the opportunity of hosting YF, hosting you too. so I coordinate trainings, coordinate knowledge sharing, coordinate open trainings. And part of my unspoken journey was serving coffee. Yeah, so I served coffee to training attendees, served coffee to other guests, and I did it excellently well. Like anytime they would like, where is that suit wearing coffee serving? So that was the little beginning. I valued it and cherished it with everything I can because I knew that was just a springboard to the next level. So I did everything. In between the training, I was listening to all kinds of training. So I was growing. Sometimes I have access to the training materials. So my growth rate was rapid. So I got to a time and now transitioned and started learning sales. Some ask why, what other JD that are unspoken that you were part of? Okay, let me list it. For instance, a typical of a consulting firm, sales was at the peak of it because I picked an interest in sales. My HOD then will always say, nothing happens until sales happen. You see, your primary job role in this organization is to help us make money. Every other thing is secondary. So the bottom line is you should trace your effort on how it adds to the bottom line of the organization. So I picked interest in sales. Each morning, I'll go to the recruitment department and speak to the audience there, pitching the services and products of the organization to them. So that was how I was refining my speaking skills. I was learning. I was like, one day I will stand before a crowd to facilitate the training. So before then, let me refine in this little space. Let me refine my training skills. Learn sales, learned public speaking, learned customer relationship management. In between, learned Excel, proficient Excel, advanced. Learn PowerPoint, learn presentation, learn content development, learn managing your boss, managing your colleague, emotional intelligence. So in between these one short year, I was soaking it all in until an opportunity presented itself.
Awesome.
Yeah, so normally they will assign a facilitator for a particular event, and I will always be on standby. I know the topic, I'll go prepare my own slide. I'll be praying that either the facilitator comes late or something happens.
It's not really.
And throughout 2019, each Friday, I don't go home. I stay over in the office throughout the night.
I'm aware.
Yes, because
I'm aware.
the trainings were always on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So I'll use throughout the night, work on my slide, have the projector present myself over 10 times over, right? Just to perfect that skill. And in the process, be praying that in the morning, the facilitator will be late.
Sure what kind of prayer is
Just
that?
a minute late, and I'll take over the stage. So maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes in between, he comes in. I'm already facilitating and I'm doing well. And that was what led to every other thing.
Awesome.
My journey, sales, business development, content development, training, and the rest of them. And here am I today, still starting. Anyway.
Still starting. Wow.
Nice,
Powerful.
nice.
What an amazing story. I mean, I can relate to a lot of things that you said because we've spoken a couple of times. And your story is really loaded. You mentioned something earlier. Even though you were working at a law firm and you were making money, I emphasize that you were making money, but yet you wanted another career in HR. So my question is, what does meaningful work mean to you? A lot of young people have come out to speak to me about, okay, this is actually what I want to do. And there's been a lot of conversations around making work meaningful to employees. So for people your age, what does meaningful work mean?
Okay, for me personally, meaningful work means the ability to give all of yourself towards a good cause. I emphasize that. Now, let me digress a bit. Each time, because in my journey, in my career process, I learned how to write CVs, how to prepare people for interviews and the rest. So each time I help someone get a job, right? Either writing the CV, working on the LinkedIn profile, helping the person prepare for interview, and he or she come back, tell me, Clinton, it was a success, I'll be starting next month. There's this sense of fulfillment in me that comes out.
Wow.
Like I've helped someone else in one way or the other achieve his own dream. So it's all about fulfillment, not just necessarily money, but your essence, your core. I mean, are you achieving purpose in itself, as it were, while working and adding value, making money with your second job? Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, Wyatt, I have a question here for you. What has been your driving force? I mean, as you have progressed in your career, what has inspired you also?
All right. So I think I've mentioned this before. It doesn't look like it on the surface. People think I'm calm and things happen, but I have a huge fear of failure. I've always had that fear since I was a young guy growing up. So every other thing I'd envisaged that I wasn't going to toe certain path. I wanted, okay, so let me not be unnecessarily, what's the word, self-serving by saying that, I'd always wanted to work or do HR. I didn't know exactly how the future was going to pan out. But what was the driving force for me was, you can't afford to fail. You can't afford to fail. So because I'd failed early, failed quickly, and learned from that experience, it was a propelling factor for me. I mean, I finished school with 4 credits. I've shared this before, and I thought I was going to go into refer from secondary school, but it took me 3 years after. I did A levels, I didn't get enough credit. By the time I finished doing A levels, I still had 4 credits. So I was back to the drawing board. So all the seemingly successful progress that we see today had foundations around the fact that we had failed quickly earlier in life, and we took lessons from that experience. So that I took into school, and then I started spending more time in the future. That's another thing. I've worked in a couple of places, and I can say that I think that I had seen myself at some point in maybe 5 or 6 of those environments before they even happened. And again, this is because I didn't want to fail, always looking forward. So many other factors now surround that fear of failure for me. So self-development constantly. I realized quickly earlier in life also that communication was going to be important for anyone to succeed in a corporate life. So despite the fact that I studied English, I was deliberate about improving my communication skills. I had a similar experience to yours. I didn't pray for the facilitators not to come, but at some point when I was doing executive selection and training, because I was the person preparing the training materials, I was quite familiar with the material. So on one occasion, the senior manager who was going to take the program at KPMG, then at Anderson, suddenly wasn't going to be available. And because I had done the materials, I was familiar with it, I just took the center stage. So I prayed more for facilitators want to come, and fast tracked my involvement in that process. But that was it. Because you become, the more comfortable you are with your material, the more confidence you have in doing things. So yes, self-development was part of it. I didn't know I was going to do human resources. When I got into HR, I started reading HR books. When I got into sales, I remember that the salary that was not enough at that time, I took out of it and I bought a book called Sales Dogs. And that was a great book that helped me in my 1 year in sales. When I got into direct marketing as well, small little money, buy things. So the thirst for knowledge has always been there, right? It could be a chapter of a book. It could be an entire book. So I think self-development was just critical as one of the things that I built on that foundation of just scared of failing in life. And it's still a journey. It's rookie versus rookie. It's still a journey, but I think the more we are in the space of not relaxing on where we are, always thirsting for more, the more life will probably answer to us and give us more.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you so much. For our audience online, if you have any questions, please feel free to post your questions in the chat box. We will pick up your questions and we'll ask our audience there. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, wife, once again for that. So, Clinton, while you were sharing your story, you had mentioned the unspoken JD. I remember a couple of times some young people had reached out to me with the complaints that when they pick up a job offer, they are being given a job description, and then they resume and realize that the roles that they are being asked to do is different from what is on their job description. A couple of them have come back to complain, and there have been questions around why does that happen in the workplace? From your experience of unspoken job description, how are you able to make that mind shift to see your spoken job description as an opportunity to learn and add value?
Okay. Like I said earlier on, when I was starting, I needed to fast track my growth rate.
So you were clear.
So I was clear that even if I have to go extra miles to get more, which I did because I was cross-pollinating between departments, right? Sometimes sales, I help them in recruitment. I'm not in sales, I'm not in recruitment, but I help out because I wanted to learn the nitty-gritty of how things work.
Yeah.
Okay, so sales generally, I was more interested in sales because it was a mantra for me that you don't leave work each day without selling a product. So it kept me on the go. So I'm talking to people in the bus, I'm talking talking to people within the company premises. I'm talking to people online. So I could have.
Were you given a sales target?
No.
Or you just.
No.
Okay.
There wasn't a sales target.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, but I needed this because if I must have this experience, then I can't just wait. So some young folks like myself, young professionals, may be saying this and this and this were not part of what was communicated. I just resumed to say. Now I had to make that mental shift because I knew it was a way of growing me faster. So I think it's seeing it from the other side of the lens, right? That these things are actually here to make me learn. And at that level, you don't have the knowledge, so you have to soak in all you can within a short period of time. Now on Saturdays, I extended it because I'm always helping mentors at events, coordinating, looking out for other things. In that process, I met quite a lot of persons.
I mean, in all my design thinking sessions, you've always been around to help and so forth.
Okay, so that was how I was actually. What could take 3 years. I was learning in 6 months one day because I was facilitating fast tracking my own growth rate. So those unspoken journey, don't look at it as they are too much work. Look at it as a faster way of making you grow. I think that's what has helped me. Powerful.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
For our audience in the house, if you have any questions, let us know. You can indicate, and then we'll give the mic to you to ask the question. Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. Clinton. So you talked so much about what you were doing to fast track your growth. I have a question with regards to balancing social life. How are you able to balance that, or you're all just work, and professional?
Just sleep in the office on Fridays.
And for a young guy, you stay in the office on Fridays, you're there Saturdays. How are you able to balance this with other social aspects of your life?
Okay, as regards social life, work was social life for me.
I thought there.
Work was social life for me, right? Okay, for instance, going out on events on Saturdays. Although I'm helping do some things, but it was an act of recreation for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was learning while relaxing. Let me use that word. So
Okay.
there was no time I could come out and say, okay, let me take time off work and flex. So in between the work, I find a way of finding joy, happiness, right, with what I do. Interacting with people, that's one of my hobby, meeting new people, right? So anytime I meet new people within the work process or within the course of discharging a particular duty, it's a part of recreation and social life for me. So I've learned how to integrate work in between. Things have changed slightly a bit now. Okay. But then each point in time, I try to see a way how I can integrate social life into work.
Okay.
Because I work practically Saturdays to Saturdays.
As well.
So just Sundays that I have for family and friends and so on.
Okay.
And girlfriend.
No.
Just checking.
Just checking. Okay. So, Clinton, have you been a time where you were trying to fast track your learning and taking on all those extra things that you've made any mistakes that comes to mind any time, or at every point where you were learning, you were getting everything right? You made mistakes. And what has been your experience? In that regard?
Okay, thank you. As regard that, at the instance where I started, I knew that pitfalls are inevitable in life. And I was asking myself, how do I minimize these pitfalls to the barest minimum? So the answer was mentorship. So mentorship helped me bridge that gap, really. As a youth, as a young person, I knew some of the times our decision may be based on youthfulness, right? Sometimes we can forgo the voice of reason. So I tried surrounding my life with mentors, people that have gone, people I look forward to, people I look up to. I'm like, they are living my future. So they must have made those mistakes, and I need to learn from them how they were able to navigate those paths in order to help reduce my error rate.
Absolutely.
So at each point in time before taking any decision, even today, I always have a recourse to consult a mentor. Look at the next step. Look at what I want to do. Look at the plans. What do you think?
Awesome.
So a good number of the times, mentors have told me, Quentin, it's not yet time. And I will be. So because I was able to trust them, believe their judgment that attaining this side is not by luck or by chance. So they should have known better or navigated this path. So at each point in time, I consult with them and they tell me it's not yet time. Like one time I met one of my mentors. I told her, Ma, I need more money. Because I think I was over, underpaid for what I was doing. Over the years, I've grown, I've added potential, I was doing stuff. So I told her I needed more money. I want to change the job. She looked at me and laughed and said, Quentin, it's not yet time. She's a Yoruba woman. She said, Farabale. She said, be coming down. She said, be coming down. He said, when it's right, I will let you know. And that was what happened. So, mentors, I consider mentors as the gift of God to men.
Yeah.
So, leverage them, their support systems. So, for you to actually reduce that rate of error, you need them. So, that was what I was able to do. Not that it has turned out 100% perfect every time, but it has reduced the error rate by almost 95%. So, there have been no regrettable mistakes, so to speak, because at each point in time, our consult mentors, where there's multitude of counsel, there's safety.
Yeah, absolutely.
Preach, Pastor.
Thank you so much, Quentin, for sharing that. Why? My next question goes to you. So someone says, we often hear you say you are an accidental HR. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Okay, so just quickly, first job was in sales. Did it for 1 year, and then I did 3 years at Tequila. And after 3 years, that was direct marketing. I was a bit tired, and I was looking out for another job. Like I said, I didn't have an idea at any point in time that I was going to do human resources. The closest I came to anything HR was MBA school, which was just a semester around human resources, or I think it was even personnel management then. Yes, it was. And there was no love between the subject and myself. But somebody took my CV and sent it to Atlantic, and the role that was available was pseudo HR, more like the admin operational part of HR. And like I said, hey, it was going to give me advancement. I looked at the offer, it was going to give me more money. Sure, why not? So I took it as another job. And like I said, this was an admin part. But the beauty of this was that since my second year in school, I'd wanted to work with Arthur Anderson. They actually came to recruit in Ife, but I missed it. This was 87. And then I found an opportunity in the same environment in 1999. And I was like, let me take it. So I took it, pseudo HR. 6 months later, I was moved into core HR, executive selection and training. So it was another job. I did not speak to anyone that I wanted to do HR. I did not have a dream to be in HR. I didn't have any focus to be in HR. It was just another job that came along the way of my career journey. I took it, and when I realized that, okay, this is where I'm going to settle into for a while, like I said earlier on, I started developing technical capabilities in that space by reading. The thirst for knowledge just took me over within the HR space, and that was it. So that's why I say it's an accidental thing rather than saying that, oh, I'd always wanted to be in HR. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So one of your followers online is asking, one of your favorite quotes is, the birds shall sing again. Can you please give a brief of what that means?
It was during the pandemic. And interestingly, we moved a lot from physical conferences, right, and speaking engagements to virtual or webinars. And the more we had conversations with people, the more we realized that people were going through a lot. And many people were also talking to us, especially the younger people. If you remember, People lost their jobs. People lost loved ones. People fell ill. People were not sure about what the future was going to be like. And in some instances, people didn't lose their jobs, had salary cuts, and they kept asking, "How am I going to survive? My bills are piling up, and now my salary is not 100% anymore. Money isn't coming in for the organization. I'm not sure about the bill." So it was a lot. People didn't know that I was also battling with my own issues from a career perspective at that time. But people were loading us with all those questions, trying to find out, almost like you becoming a prophet and telling them what the future was going to be like. I remember that a business owner, I made this public on one of my posts on LinkedIn, also approached me. He wasn't sure what the future was going to be. He's into the food business. People were not going out to eat anymore. Takeout was very, very slow. And he was asking me for 16 minutes, he was on the phone with me. I said, "Yemi, how long is this going to last?" I didn't have the answers, but being an incredible optimist, the best I could do was to say things are going to get better. So I just put all of that together, and then one morning I just the expression just came to me. We are not going to continue like this. Things are going to get better. And the way for me to encapsulate all of that was to say that we should all breathe. Because people were scared. I was as well. We were all scared, but we also needed to breathe. And yeah, the birds are beginning to sing again.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so we have some questions from our online audience. We have Solomon Johnson to Yemi from Zoom. What has been your greatest achievement as an outstanding HR pro and your biggest failure?
Biggest achievement, I don't think I can count biggest achievement yet. I don't think so. I think I'm on a journey. One experience has added to another for me. If I have to live my life all over again, honestly, I don't regret any move so far. I don't, because the more you think, "Oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that," and then something happens in the future, and you realize if you weren't there, you wouldn't be here today. So for me, achievement is an ongoing thing. So it's not yet time to count achievements. Failures as well. I think my greatest failure was what I mentioned. Failing school start was the greatest failure for me, because I didn't think it was going to happen. And benefit of hindsight, I'm actually happy that it happened at that time, because if you fail quickly and fail forward, you're likely to learn. So each time I get into situations that seem almost like a failure situation, I remember that episode and other episodes, and it just gives you some sort of encouragement that, hey, you've been there before, you've been through that process. This is another one. So there have been challenges. So let me not call them failures. There have been challenges along the way. I've lost my job before in an organization where I was promoted in 3 days. I was given a sign-on bonus of 15 million naira. The following year, I was promoted and my salary moved by 50%. 8 months later, the same organization asked me to leave. So there have been challenges. In some organization where I thought I had consolidated in my career at maybe the peak of human resources, at some point from the blues, the managing director called me on a Monday and said, "We should have another conversation about my long-term relationship with the organization." And that led to my exit. So there have been challenges. I joined an organization where everybody is still asking me till tomorrow, "Yemi, why did you join?" I'm not going to name the organization. Nobody should say anything. Everybody asked me why I had to join that organization. Maybe this is one of the days I made this a bit public. The reason I'm actually here in the current organization was because I was in that organization. It was because somebody thought if I could be there managing the workforce of maybe 3,000 plus, oh, okay, it'll be easy. It'll be not easy. It'll be not too difficult to now manage the current organization as well. So challenges will always come. We will grapple with them. We'll go through them. But we also need to realize that if those challenges don't come, we won't develop muscles to climb our mountains.
Powerful. Thank you so much. So, Clinton, I have another question from Solomon Johnson. What motivates you as a growing professional in your HR? field? So in HR, given your legal background.
What motivates me? Okay. Personally, as a lawyer, I have a way of integrating law into everything I do. Right, on a day-to-day basis. Most of the time, they are just saying something outside. I'm like, have you considered the legal implications? So they just take a pause and like, we never saw it that way. And like, this is a brewing lawsuit waiting. So you better. So my reasoning, analytical thinking, how I process information. I'm not so critical, but I look at try to take a good view
Yeah.
from each side. So law has always helped me in my HR career, and sometimes some kind of training. I did. I'm a chartered company secretary, so I did a part of corporate governance. So some of the big time trainings, I developed the content, drawing from my legal experience, drawing from my corporate governance experience, from the other things. So it has all added together. Though not law in the courtroom.
Yeah. What HR?
The
Still
HR space.
relevant. Still relevant.
So that's it.
Wow, thank you so much. So I have another question from our online audience, from Joseph to why. What is that thing that has helped you stay and kept up and keep afloat in the industry?
I don't know. But I think growth will not happen if there is no vision, if there is no attempt to make sacrifices, and if you don't take risks. If I start from the last one, I've taken risks. The kind of risks that people ask me on daily basis and say, I don't know, this opportunity is staring me in the face. Should I take it? If I remember in my own career journey, I will have taken that opportunity, and then I'll find out how it's going to pan out. It works out, we stay. It doesn't work out, we move. That's the way it is. So I have a colleague right now who is at a very senior level in human resources, and an opportunity is coming up within literally the same industry. Income will change about 40%. Role will move out of human resources into corporate services, and we've been at it for like 1 week. Should I not? I'm thinking at times we pray that God should provide opportunities. When opportunities come, we start doubting our capabilities. So I think taking risk is one thing that has helped me. I've taken major risks from authority to recurrence, from standard charter to people temp. I took a risk by going to my last, the one that we didn't mention. That was a risk as well. We need to make sacrifices. I keep saying that we need to spend time in the future. There are so many things in the present now asking for our time and attention. From time to time, we need to take ourselves away from those things and plan for them. I read a lot. That gave me some very good grounding. Unlike you, I didn't have mentors. Kirsty, I didn't have mentors, but I have mentors in books.
The next question I was going to ask. Do you have a mentor along your HR path? Oh, okay.
I've not had one, but believe me, I read books. Even while I was in sales and real marketing before I go into HR, I read books that gave me, like I said, very solid grounding around what the future was going to be like. There were not books in HR, they were just books about life. There were books about leadership, about career success, what success meant, and all that. And when I got into human resources as well, I think one of the first books I bought was Michael Armstrong. It was a Bible of human resources for me at that time. So those are some of the things. Like I said, vision. Like I had a fear of failure, so I had an idea that I wanted to be successful in the corporate world. How that success was going to pan out, I had no idea. I have never done a vision boarding. I'll repeat that. I have never done a vision boarding, and I'm not saying that it is wrong. Please don't get me wrong at all. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying there is an overall goal within me, always propelling me to action rather than the specifics. So where I'm going to go next after, is this going to be live outside of here? People are going to listen to. My boss might hear this. Okay, I don't know where I'm going to go after 7 Up. but but the point is, when the opportunity again comes up, we will evaluate at that time. Is it going to be worth it or not? We will not have 100% of the answers, but hey, there are two options. See that it works out or it doesn't work out. There's only one way to find out, by doing it.
By doing it.
That's it.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We have another question from Olusegun Daramola. Is there an HR field that combines HR analytics and HR tech? If yes, how do I prepare for this role?
I think this is one area that is evolving
Yeah.
within the HR space, given what has happened to our world in the last 18 months. We have been talking about it, not that it is totally new. We've been talking about HR, MIS, HR analytics, and HR data. And before the pandemic, we had already started having the departments dealing with data analytics, but it's becoming huge right now. If you can, we are moving away from a place where we present human resources report and the things we are doing, initiatives, by being emotional, to a point where we are presenting, supporting with data. So, employee engagement, I will do XYZ, and we are hoping that XYZ will know. Use data from the past to give insights about the present and foresight in terms of the future. So data and HR becoming big. Now, some schools of thought are also saying that so many parts of HR would not be in existence in the next 5 to 10 years, because we'll be able to leverage on what technology can allow us to do, and therefore we will not need bumps on the seat. We probably will just have somebody sitting at home and just churning out data within the space of HR. Will all that happen? Yes. How soon will it happen? I think it depends on organization. It depends on sectors. But the point that we cannot all run away from is that tech is going to take over our world. It's already taking over our world, and HR cannot be isolated from that movement. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you so much. Are there any questions from any of our audience? Any questions? Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, I have a question from you, please.
So my question goes to Clinton. Let's just go ahead. My question goes to Clinton. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I'm so impressed by you. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question and I was having a discussion with someone yesterday. Now, as a listener, I understand that you're supposed to take on any opportunity. Most of the time, that's what we do. Because you're trying to break into the market. So you start from somewhere, take the opportunity that you have, and that's fine. But my question is, at what point would you say, based on your experience, and maybe the experiences of some of your colleagues, would you say that they should start to sort of map or chart a path,
Specialize.
for themselves? So say the first job you ever got was customer service, and this is not what you want. So at what point? So do you continue to just do that because that's what you have, and you want to build your skills and you want to earn an income, and you just continue that? Or at what point do you now say to yourself that I want to be a HR professional, or I want to be a lawyer, I want to be in sales? And what is that sweet point that you take that move? This will also now land this question, and this comes from the position of negotiation. So, every time negotiate usually, and I want one billion. But a rookie, how does a rookie meander that place of negotiation? I remember I heard you say that you talk to yourself and you're telling your mentor that you earned what you were earning then wasn't so much. And your mentor said it's not yet time, still wait. So how long should I'm not a rookie, so I'm asking specifically on the outcome.
Sure.
How long can I start to command or ask for what I want?
Thank you so much. Fantastic.
Okay. Thank you. I may not have a definite timeline. I'll just give a general answer. when you are starting, most of the times, it's just to get your foot in first. That's the most important thing. Get your foot in. Now, at that time, let me say you are a fresh graduate from school, you just finished NYC, you've never had a work experience. So you need to start by getting work experience first. So it can be in any, well, if what you are applying for part-time is not forthcoming, you can get something and use it as a negotiation chip to the next role. Now, as a rookie, I may not have the definite number of years, but if you ask me, I may say between 2 to 5. You should be able to start charting a clear course for your career. And this is where also I will fall back to mentorship. Most of the times you need to explain to someone who can understand you, this is where I have been, this is where I want to go. How do I make the transition? Now, on that stage, you may not be negotiating. Like for instance, you want to get into the HR space, you've been doing customer service. Sometimes it may require maybe a lower pay cut just to enable you transition, because you know that maybe within the next 2 years, the money you couldn't make, you will start making it. So transitioning from where you are to where you want to be. So money shouldn't be the primary focus. Let me use the word primary focus, but getting the skills and competence, and also the organizations you work with. Sometimes people prefer organizations that are relaxed, no stress, can't come and kill yourself, that kind of thing. So if you can be in a place that will facilitate your growth, that will be a big advantage for you when you are starting off. So, but between 2 years and 5 years, you should be able to start niching a path for yourself. I think that's I don't know why.
Okay, so it's a journey. At some point, we will be dictated to. After a while, we will have a say. We'll probably come to our parallels might meet, and after a while, you might start dictating. But you take a process. But what will allow you to do that? It's your not years of experience, your years of competence, right? Will give you an opportunity to have the confidence to ask for more. That's the thing. So, for instance, this is what I say during interviews. Once you know that you're going for that interview, there are 4 or 5 people for every role. Because most of us are human resources. You know the things when a candidate leaves the panel, we say, let's talk about that candidate. And if it's a great candidate, but one we say, that's a good candidate, but let's listen to others, right? Yeah. That individual has created a standard already. It's below par. We say, no, let's see others. We don't waste time. So in readiness, every time, not only because you want to wow the panelists, but in actual fact, about the value that you want to give out, get ready. So at the point when you walk out and they say that's the candidate, but let's see other candidates, know that at that point they come back to you, something in there about you. You can start. It's not about 10 years, 5 years, or 15 years. Even in the conversations between the HR people or the compensation guys, when they are negotiating with you, read between the lines. There will be something that they will be telling you that you're the candidate that we want for this role. Once you get to that point, be a bit in the driver's seat. So it's going to take a process of there is no one size fits all answer to that question. I think it's about the individual, and it's about where we all are in our journeys concerning our careers. But if we have at the back of our mind that value begets value and that money will chase value ultimately, then we will concentrate more on value, and then we'll let other things take over in terms of the conversations around our career.
Thank you so much.
Okay, just a little thing in addition to what I've said. Sir, I can clearly relate with this. After all the years of development, 2 years down the line, I attended another interview, and it took all the fleet on it to ask for 3 times of what I was collecting. I mean, to say it, to say it took fleet, and I said it, and the HR said, "Okay, I'm like, ma, you heard me.
Did you just say okay?
So I say, you heard me. Like, you're asking for some amount net. I say, right. I went back to my seat. I went back to my desk that day and added another passion to work. Because I knew these things are working.
Absolutely. Take more. Yeah. Awesome. Careful. Careful. Okay. Yeah.
My question goes to why I want to just an advice. What do you advise individuals, anybody to sit?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you have to advise any individual changing career, transiting from one career to another?
What do I advise? Okay, so because I've been there before, again, this is another question that is going to be a not one size fits all. We're on different career trajectories, different areas of life. The other circumstances that we don't bring to the career discussions are different also from one person to another. This is the basic for me. Whatever life offers you to do now, do it well. It is only when you're doing what you're doing now very well that people can refer you, right? If you don't do it very well and you're moaning and groaning and you're thinking, I want to change my career, it won't work. I mean, I was listening to CK on the Life Network about perspective to things. Where we are and our mindset about things generally will inform how we see things. And it will also inform how other people see us. Because if you're moaning and groaning, I promise you your conversations will not be positive. An individual who can ask for 3 times salary. You see what I mean? But if you say, oh, no, I to change my job, but I'm enjoying customer service right now. There's something in there. Somebody wants to listen more to you. But if you say, I've been in customer service for 3 years now, and I can't wait to get out of it. From that negative perspective, the other negative perspectives and other negative perspectives. But if it's like, oh, you're doing it well. And I say to younger folks, if we count 10 people in customer service or human resources or admin or supply chain, 10 people at your cadre, names come out of the 10. So that when people can refer, and we're in a world now of not just picking up jobs on LinkedIn or adverts on website. It's about who can refer you. So when you're not in the with people you in terms of your technical competence, don't say it's because you know Yemi Fashion and he works at 7up. Let me call him and say no. Let somebody say to Yemi, I know a guy, diligent, great guy. You're looking for someone in HR or supply chain or admin. That is the guy you're looking for. And let it also come from somebody I can trust as well, making the reference or the referral. Exactly. Is what I'm just worried. I'll be so worried to refer somebody who will go mess up my name. Yes. You see what I mean? So it's a lot of building yourself, building your communication, building a solid network, being very credible, technically competent, and all that. The outcome is a change of career. Yes. And that's where people concentrate on. They don't concentrate on the basics that they need to do before they change their career. So changing the career is an outcome, but the basics that we need to build are all the things that will surround that conversation.
Wow. Awesome. Okay. We'll take one more question from a rookie in the house.
Two more.
My question is to Clinton because the story is okay. His story is so personal because I'm a lawyer and I'm transitioning into it now.
Right, interesting.
So my question is, how did you overcome doubt? 5 years in law school in Nigeria, then 1 year in university, 6 years in law. Then all of a sudden you're doing the work to HR. People start questioning you. It's like, what am I doing? You're anymore. I can get more involved and stuff like that. But yeah, purpose is talking. But how do you communicate to others? How are you able to help others? Because some might see crazy, some see me as crazy. What do you need? Or I have no friends. Stop nonsense was real. Want to do HR. So how are you able to overcome that uncertainty, doubt to get to the level where you are now?
Okay, thank you, thank God. I already knew, like I said, today I already knew that law wouldn't be it for a long time, right? I've already convinced myself. I think the greatest support I've had is my parents believing in my decision. So I'd already convinced myself. I told my parents, look at what I'm thinking and look at what I want to do. This is what will help me maximize the best of me. And they're like, okay, if you think that fit, we support you. So every other thing was commentary, right? So my parents and support, I'm at peace with myself and I go all the way to make it happen. So friends and close associates, I was able to explain this to me. I remember one time, one HR was asking me, are you sure you can do this? I'm like, I have the support of my parents and I go all the way. So I think that inner peace that this is what I want to do for the next maybe so year of my life, and also family backing was what made it sweet and smooth for me.
Wow, thank you so much. We have a question from Facebook from Prince Charles. It reads, what is your opinion, Wyatt, on age limits from the perspective of someone who wants to explore opportunities in other professions than he has already been used to?
I don't think there is any age limit. Anyone can change at any point in time. So a couple of things: interest, sustained interest over a period of time, knowledge in the field that you want to go into. I mean, I always like to tell the story of a stone cutter. If you bring a big stone into here now and give me a hammer, I'll keep hitting it. I do not know exactly when it's into pieces. But the point is, if I don't keep hitting, I won't get that result. So some other people might have bigger muscles and they hit it harder and get results faster than others. But the point is, if you're like, thank God, and you're very focused on what you want to do, then give your attention, give it time to develop yourself in that space. I've seen somebody when I was at Standard Chartered who was an operations manager at GT Bank, and she joined Standard Chartered as same level with me, HR operations manager. We were sitting opposite each other. So somebody gave her a chance, despite the fact that she was an operations manager, operations as in banking operations. She joined HR as a manager. I've seen people join at director level. Yeah. So I mean, just you got to again optimism, preparedness, looking for opportunities. Just 3 days ago, I said when opportunity knocks on your door, do what? Be at home. Be at home means getting ready for it. So people think that life should give me an opportunity. Most times, life doesn't give it to us. We ask for it. We demand for it by getting ready for it. So there is no limit. There is no time. The guy who started KFC started when 65 or 68. I mean, we have so many other stories around the world of people who started doing new things at 50 or 40. No limit. I got into corporate services at over 50. That's another example. I didn't know I was going to move up quickly, but opportunities came. But the point is, were we ready for those opportunities when they came? No limit. Just get ready.
So you were at home.
Something like that. Something like that.
Thank you so much for your response.
Thank you.
More questions, then we have to wrap it up. We have a question from Zoom. So, in your career path, how was it easy for you to deal with toxicity at work? That's if you've had any experience at home.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I became a headsman from a career perspective, because I can't deal, and I've seen it. 3-4 organizations where I worked, but not my to moan and groan and say, hey, what's going to happen? But sad that toxicity is on the rise in corporate Nigeria. It's always been there, and I'm going to leave a challenge to millennials who are in leadership positions today. Let me just seize the moment. More conversations are going on about leaders at mid-career level who are extremely toxic. And that's because nobody's getting them ready for leadership positions. Because they can sell, because they can facilitate, because they know IT, because they can leverage on some technical ability. We move them into leadership positions without getting them ready. So two things should happen. Please, if you are in that position, get yourself ready, or at least take advantage of your leadership opportunities. And the message also to organizations: before you move people into leadership positions, please get them ready. It doesn't come as a matter of course. It's not a natural ability, right? So toxicity is on the rise. What I have done, because I can't change the world, I can only change my world, and changing my world is changing my career. I'll dealt with it, but have I experienced it? By all means, I have. I have. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Wyatt, for that. So, final questions for you from our audience online. One reads: how can one cope with excessive workload and personal development?
Don't burn out. Don't burn out. Life is in phases. I think we're juggling 5 or 7 balls: spiritual, the family, the work, the relationship, the community, health, the social, and the I don't want to say sad. The interesting part of it is that all the balls are made of glass. So if one of them drops on the floor, what happens? It shatters, and we might not be able to bring them together again. So please, in addition to all the things we are saying, look out for yourself. Please look out for yourself. Don't burn out. We're no longer in an environment where we're saying work-life balance. We've moved from that to work-life integration. We've moved from that to work-life fluidity, and we are moving now into harmony. So everybody needs to find harmony in all the things that we are juggling. If work is affecting your personal life, so many people are going through mental health issues right now because of issues at work. So many people are not able to be productive at work because of issues at home. And nobody's going to do all of this for anybody. It's a personal responsibility. And if you're at the point where you're overwhelmed, please seek help. By all means, seek help from those who are ahead of you, or seek help from professionals. But please, let's not allow one side of the divide to overwhelm the sides.
Thank you so much. So one last question for you, Wyatt, from Shola. Great learning so far. My question is: what is the benefit of hindsight? With the benefit of hindsight, what would you have done differently in your career? And what advice would you give to your younger self?
My younger self: understand emotional intelligence in your career, understand political intelligence. So twice that I've lost my job in my career was for my political naivety. I've shared this before. You guys are a bit lucky. Everything is almost at our fingertips right now. You have access to individuals. We didn't have all of that when we were growing up. I'll probably understand more around EQ and PQ if I start my career all over again. And then him from one place to another will have reduced. So maybe instead of 12, I'll do 8. But the point is, the basic that you can't run away from is your technical ability to anchor your job or your, and then build on it faster with emotional intelligence. Build on it faster as you go up the career ladder with political intelligence.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Wyatt. So,
Thank you.
as a rookie in the house, what's your parting advice for other rookies out there?
Okay, let me talk my generation, right?
My generation.
My generation. Okay, we believe that we need to be pampered, right? Everybody wants to be pampered. Everybody wants to be taken care of. Everybody doesn't want stress. But I can tell you that you can't be pampered into a senior managerial role. So YFA can tell you that. So nobody will take care of you to the MD position. If you actually seek career growth, it's high time you develop the leadership competence of becoming a self-leader first, taking personal responsibility to make things happen. Now, it stands you out faster in a team because other people are just doing the minimum to keep them out of the radar. But you are taking just a little bit extra. You know, so in a world where everybody wants to be pampered, if you just do just a little bit extra, it stands you out. So I think it's time we take this game of self-leadership back to its height. So it's not always rosy every time, so you don't have to make decisions at each point in time. get up, you are not feeling like it, you throw in the towel. No. I think it's time we start getting a lot of resilience, mentorship direction. At least before you blow it, talk to someone, talk to a mentor. Because I tell you personally, I would have blown it a couple of times if I had moved with youthfulness. So, but mentorship is always the voice of reason, always coming down at each point in time to take steps when they are due. So let's leverage it. Let's take self-leadership because no one is coming to save us. Like you said, people are not prepared for the next role, and when it comes, it takes them by surprise. So from our generation, let's start caring for ourselves and not allow people to always take care of us at every point in time.
Awesome. I mean, you said something very pertinent. You talked about mentorship. And for me, it's one area for my life that I realized I struggled with at first, gaining access to mentors. And over the years, I also became a mentor. And I found out that people were actually struggling to gain access to me because of the workload and all of that. And that's one of the reasons why I came up with the book, my HR Storybook. I mean, you're someone who have gotten the book. Is there any way this book had impacted you with regards to learning and reading stories from mentors in any way?
Okay, yes. I was part of the team that compiled the story. So reading through the book, now it's like each mentor's story, you will meet it at definitely one stage of. So you can flip into page 33, chapter 33, and it's actually what you are experiencing at that point in time.
Wow, yeah.
Right? And you're reading the story of how the person navigated through, and you're like, okay, so rather than take this decision, let me take it this way and see how it pans out. So it's like the distant mentor. So each person should have this book as a toolkit. So because at each point in time, like Yemi said, I can become a manual, a Bible for you to always have a cause to refer at each point in time.
Wow. You would agree with me that it's been a very interesting and learning conversation so far. Because of time, we'll have to bring this to a close. There's a quote that reads, storytelling is our obligation to the next generation. If all we are doing is marketing, we are doing a disservice, and not only to our own profession, but to our children and their children. Give something of meaning to your audience by inspiring, engaging, and educating them with stories. Stop marketing, start storytelling. On that note, I want to thank everyone for your time. Our online guests, our guests in the studio, thank you so much for my interesting learning time. So we'd like to make presentation to our special guest in the house today. Okay. I'd like to call on one of our very experienced senior HR professional, Kausar Karim, to appreciate our rookie guest in the house.
Wow. Clinton, thank you so very much. I've personally learned a lot from you. So many nuggets here today. Thank you so much. So on behalf of LARA YEKU and the entire guests that are here, and the entire HR Gent community, I'm presenting this to you. Thank you so much.
Sorry, there's a gift
Okay.
box. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Kausar. Thank you. On Larry Babalola, an HR rookie, presents our relationship life.
Thank you.
Okay, on behalf of LARA YEKU and on behalf of we rookies, for your countless impact on us. I mean, you don't know about, like I said to you this evening, is that your impact has spread like wildfire across the rookies. You've given so many people hope. You've given so many people the push, the believe, and just that's meant for being inspired once more again to go for it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mike. Okay.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you. So that brings us to the end of this special episode. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. We appreciate you. God bless and enjoy the rest of your day. Can we take a picture by the cake?
Okay.
Can we use the background?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're going to bring it here. Careful. Careful. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Chibu. What's up? Okay, let's. Where is she? Oh, okay. All right. Oops. It's on my birthday. Why are you taking my picture though? Come on, let me settle to. Nice to see you.
I'm good.
Nice to see you.
I'm very fine, thank you.
Yes,
Remember
sir.
me? No.
Not really.
Yeah.